Once upon a time he was a mythical creature, always showing off his mythical features to lady centaurs and other creatures too. So a crusty old wizard knew what he must do. He sent our best friend Dave from dimensions away without a genitalia and a working man's shave. Whoa. Every day,
It's fun news for you.
every day,
He's watching cartoons.
every day.
He's literally half of us.
Centaur.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Everyday Centaur podcast. This week, we're gonna talk about some stuff. I am one of your hosts, Preston, with one of our special guests.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm his girlfriend.
Yay!
Name hasn't changed.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
good.
Chaz Grapely. And we're gonna start off this week talking a little bit about what we did on Facebook this past week. We put up a time-lapse video of the recording of our second episode, and I think it's gotten a bunch of likes and stuff, so that's been cool. We have a lot. We have about 4 or 5 new likes on YouTube or subscribes. And if you would, please do subscribe to us on YouTube. We need those numbers.
I made 4 new YouTube accounts and subscribed.
Oh,
That's
that
hard.
explains everything.
Sad.
We also
Gotta do
started.
what you have to do for the show, right?
We started playing The Division, which was cool.
Yeah.
What is the division?
That was that game that I played last night when you went to bed.
Oh, okay. So I wouldn't know. That's
And
fine.
we were like,
Um,
bad guys over there.
Oh, it's because you had to whisper. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
I moved the fan behind me so that you couldn't hear anything.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, and then I whispered into my microphone, like, "Chase, can you hear me?" And he'd be like, "Did you say something?" I'd be like, "Yes."
It's just like really weird bedroom talk.
I remember at
You
one
get
point,
strangled?
at one point, I climbed a ladder and went all the way up, and I found like some really cool gloves, and I was like, "Hey, Chase, there's a chest over here with some really cool gloves." And he was like, "Hey, man, is there anything up there?" And I was like, "Yeah, there was a chest with some really cool gloves." And he's like, "Oh, let's just check it out." And then he went all the way up there and he got the chest, and then he said,
Hey,
Why didn't you hate it? Why didn't you tell me there's something up here?"
I got an awesome mask.
Okay, good, good.
I
You
was
should
just like,
come
"Nah,
check this
whatever."
out.
I'm sorry, you had to be quiet because of me.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. So, what else did you guys put on Facebook besides the time-lapse video?
Well, my Facebook has been uninstalled for like a month and I didn't
Oh.
know about it.
Yeah,
I hadn't even liked our own page yet.
Chaz
so,
doesn't
That's
do
really
anything
bad.
with Facebook.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm disconnected.
that's fine.
However, we have hit 85 likes.
Oh, that's awesome.
By the way, if you heard that, that's our residential puppy, Libby. She's
really
absolutely
cute.
adorable. We'll put her on at the end of the
Yeah, she's
episode. She's like the most adorable little puppy.
Yeah, I don't usually like small dogs, but I like her. So, it's a good sign, Chase. You have a good dog.
It is.
Good job.
So, we're going to do something really weird for this show. Something we've never done before. Something we may never do again. We're going to talk about books.
Books.
What are books? Do tell.
Back in the ancient times,
Before tablets and iPhones.
The early 2000s.
People-
Yeah.
would carve wood from cedar trees, and
They make something called paper. It's very thin.
they would
trees.
inscribe letters on these things, and waste a lot of resources. Kelly has read 4 books.
Recently, I've read more than 4 books.
She's read
in my
4
life.
books. And here they are. I'm going to let you show them off.
Go through them. Well, I really enjoy comedy female writers, and the main women that I enjoy are Tina Fey, Mindy Kaling, that's not a Mindy Kaling book, and Amy Poehler. Okay, so luckily my family knows that I really like reading books, especially about strong female writers, and I received a lot of books for Christmas, and I bought a few myself, mainly being Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Half
But
the books.
half, yeah, they're.
You bought half of them.
I bought half of them, but the other people bought the other ones for me, so you know they're sweet. But I did read all of these recently, and I enjoyed them very much. Preston has seen Mindy Kaling on her show, which is the Mindy Kaling Project, or just the Mindy Project. It's just the Mindy Project.
It's just the Mindy Project.
Sorry.
Was she the one in the office?
Yeah, she was in The Office as well. No, she's awesome. She's very, very funny. She has a different perspective than I think a lot of female comedy writers, or just females in general, do, being an immigrant.
I want to talk about the Mindy Project for a second
good.
because I'm sure you've seen a commercial for the Mindy Project, right?
I've heard of it.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, that
Step one.
girl from The Office. That is definitely not a show I want to see." That's literally the first thing that I thought. I was just like, "Oh my god, I do not want an entire show of just that character,"
She's
because she was my
awesome.
least favorite character on The Office.
She's meant to be your
Going
least
back,
favorite
well, I was about to say,
character,
going
though.
back and watching The Office after seeing the Mindy Project, I like her character a lot more. But like I said, I was very skeptical going into watching her show, and was completely blown away. I think probably about every episode at how many times I was laughing. The humor's really good and the writing's really good in that show.
Weird thing about it, she was a main writer on The Office. She's a writer on the show. She produces the show. She directs the show. So everything she puts out there is stuff that you can see the humor based in The Office. So it's not the same kind of humor, because it's not the dry humor that we come to love and adore at The Office. But it is this in your face, like, I'm a quirky female, but I'm also crazy, but laugh at me kind of thing that I enjoy. And it has a really good cast. I'm trying to think.
Everybody in that show is crazy.
Yes.
That's it. They're
They're
just
just
crazy.
crazy,
They're all
yeah.
crazy.
And Mindy being the main one, but she's definitely what I enjoy watching in female characters, because she's not afraid to, be out there and dress weird and quirky and all of that, and still be herself. But I really enjoyed her, and I really enjoyed reading her book. All of the books, they're not just memoirs or anything. They have essays and stories about their lives, but also stories about their shows that they helped produce. Obviously, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey were on SNL, also went on to create their own shows, though, Parks and Recreation with Amy Poehler, and also 30 Rock with Tina Fey. So it was very cool getting to see how that happened, because with them, it shows you that it's not just overnight. They had to work really, really hard in Chicago, doing improv, getting to New York, and from there still having to fight for their shows. I watched the shows before, after they came out on TV, especially 30 Rock, and I was like, oh, that must have been a hit the whole time. It wasn't, though. Like, every season they're afraid they're going to get canceled. So it was really cool seeing Tina Fey talk about how Alec Baldwin was really the only reason they were able to stay on the show, and how no one really remembered that she only did, Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live until...
Wait, so Alec Baldwin was the only reason
The only reason they even picked up the show was Alec Baldwin. Because Tina wasn't that, big of a celebrity, just even after Saturday Night Live, because she just did Weekend Update. And no one really remembers that, because her whole Sarah Palin thing is so iconic now. And that was after she had left the show.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Don't tap the table.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool.
It's okay. But no, they don't remember that Tina Fey had already left SNL when she did Sarah Palin. The whole time they're like, oh, she'll do a Sarah Palin impression, but they're like, she doesn't even work on the show anymore, but we'll see if she'll do it. And
now
everybody remembers
now
that
she's back on for that endorsement she gave Donald Trump.
No, it was so good. That video
was
amazing.
really funny.
Yeah, I love her. And Amy Poehler, all of them are great. Obviously, you guys probably wouldn't enjoy reading it as much as I am as a female, but there are good stories in there. Mindy Kaling's you probably shouldn't read it all. They talk about romance and relationships a lot. But Tina Fey and Amy Poehler is more about their backstory, about being female comedy writers and how hard that is getting into the business. So it's some perspective. But I really enjoyed it. And I know you have a book that you want to talk about that would be more of the male perspective.
You have one last book to talk about.
What?
Tina Fey.
I did talk about her.
Did you?
Bossy Pants?
I thought I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I mean, Bossy Pants is the same thing along with Amy Poehler's. It's just the fact that she's talking about her time as a comedy writer and talking about 30 Rock. And they're all really hilarious books. I mean, they're comedy writers. They're funny. They're funny ladies. Okay?
Alrighty. My book that I brought to talk about, I got in a Loot Crate. And I'm sure most of you probably know what a Loot Crate is. It's that thing where you pay like $14 and they send you a box full of stuff every month. And I was not super stoked whenever I looked inside of my Loot Crate and I realized that I had a book.
I have to read.
But it was so awesome and is now probably my favorite book. It's not like some literary masterpiece or I mean,
I mean, it would fall among the YA genre. I mean, it's young adult.
But Steven Spielberg has now picked up this book for a movie, and so I felt like it was pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to talk about what it's about. So I'll just go ahead and read the brief description, and then we'll go into a little bit deeper about it. In the year 2044, reality is an ugly place. The only time teenage Wade Watts really feels alive is when he's jacked into the virtual utopia known as the Oasis. Wade's devoted his life to studying the puzzles hidden within the world's digital confines, puzzles that are based on their creators' obsession with the pop culture of decades past, and that promise massive power and fortune to whoever can unlock them. But when Wade Watts stumbles upon the first clue, he finds himself beset by players willing to kill to take this ultimate prize. The race is on, and if Wade's going to survive, he'll have to win and confront the real world he's always been so desperate to escape.
That's his audition tape. Just that, reading the back of the book.
Yeah, so basically, Wade Watts is a teenager living in, I can't remember what city, it's just a random, like, we'll just throw out Boston or something like that. And he lives in what's called the Stacks. The world of Ready Player One is set in the not-so-distant future, where, of course, all of our fuel resources have been used up, and it is not easy to travel anymore. Therefore, people who lived in all these rural areas are now packing into the high volumes city areas to... So what happens is that there are these trailer parks. And the people who are bringing their homes in on these trailers, eventually they have to start stacking them on top of each other and attaching them, but with...
I mean, that's what it looks like.
Like, if you looked at it up close, I mean, that is the front cover.
Gosh. Could you imagine a tornado?
No,
I mean, these
exactly.
things...
Just completely blowing
the
it
book
off
describes...
Population control.
The book describes some of them as being like 80 trailers high. And that whenever there's a big storm or a burst of wind, like sometimes it'll take out 1 and 2 and 3, and so that's like...
And also if there's fires, like,
yeah,
pretty much
like,
an entire stack is going to die.
It's 240 people, like, just with some wind.
Yeah.
And so that's the world he's so desperately trying to escape. And in this not-so-distant future, there's a virtual reality game called The Oasis. People can, like... there's like virtual malls, there's virtual schools, there's everything. There's a Star Wars universe, a Firefly universe, a Star Trek universe, the Simpsons planet, where you would just go down on this planet and they have recreated the entire planet is multiple recreations of that hometown. I've never actually seen the Simpsons. Springfield.
Yes.
Well, I think the whole thing that's interesting about it, because I read the book as well after he read it, the most interesting thing about it is talking about virtual reality, which is something that's really big right now, especially what just came out, or what are they coming out with that's so important?
The Samsung Gear is already out, and that's the cell phone version of Oculus. And then there's Oculus Rift, which is for the PC, PlayStation VR, which is, of course, for the PlayStation. And the augmented reality glasses are HoloLens, and that's by Microsoft.
Yeah. Well, what I think is so cool about it is that they're depicting something that is not impossible to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get so involved in our phones. I'm constantly checking it. You guys are probably checking your phone all the time. And virtual reality is that next step in technology that is happening right now. So the book, I think, is very interesting because what if that does happen? You have this entire network, just like Facebook or something, that you're completely immersed in all the time. And it's something that becomes the norm, being in your virtual reality headset all the time.
One of the coolest things that I thought about it is not only do they have a headset and like the goggles and the ears,
they interact with their surroundings.
but they also have haptic gloves. Like that's something you regularly have. So whenever you're in there and you're like going to hold your locker combination when you're going to virtual school, you feel the locker in your hand and you open it. It's... especially the way they describe it's really cool. Yeah. And then later on in the book, they start talking about like some more immersive rigs that exist in the world, which is really cool. Because I believe it was at PAX with PlayStation VR and the Res demo, they had a full body vibration suit that went along with
Vibration suit.
it. And it would be like, you're in a spaceship and you're flying around, and
Yeah,
these
I kinda
other
feel
aliens,
it.
they're shooting at you.
Yeah.
And whenever you get hit, you're like, whoa,
Oh.
what
I don't
was
think I like
that?
that.
And
I would
that
get
was
shot
really
the
cool.
whole time, so I don't think I would like be feeling that.
Probably be like, oh, what the what?
Why? No,
Who's
I
here?
I get so freaked out at games, like when that don't
It'd
affect
probably just
me.
be me, like, walking up and hitting you.
Yeah,
and
because
just-
you'd be mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about virtual reality though, Chase?
I'm gonna get it when it comes
Are
out.
you?
I don't know if it'll be day one, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Day
seems
one.
cool. Day one.
They won, man.
Oh, yeah.
Our producer's day one too.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with the cheaper version for the
Yeah.
PlayStation since I've already got 2 PlayStations.
Might as
ditto.
I do
well.
have a PC as well, but I mean, you just gotta keep updating those things. But I don't know.
Well, with the virtual reality that they're doing with PlayStation, do you have to have like a large space open to be, or can you be sitting?
So
like that's
that-
what
that's
I'm worried about
actually-
is running into
that's-
stuff.
That's the Vive.
Okay.
And that's Steam's virtual reality headset.
I'm just nervous because I run into stuff anyway, and if I'm going to be in my living room, I have to do I have to move everything, or is there a section in my house
Oh,
now that I
well,
have to use? Like,
The
that's
the cool thing
question.
about them is it requires a space, the size of a spare bedroom.
I think it's like 8 feet for
yeah.
PlayStation.
Oh.
Well, no, PlayStation you don't have to get up or do anything.
Well, yeah.
With the
How do you
Vive,
walk then?
yeah. Here's the thing: on the Vive, you do
You still have your
actually,
controller.
you have
PlayStation.
you have 2 single-handed controllers, and you walk around this space, and they have room cameras in the corner.
Yeah.
And what those do is they get a perspective on the furniture and stuff in the room.
Okay.
And then your goggles also have a camera on the front that is seeing exactly what's in front of you, and so the other 2 cameras can pinpoint your position.
Yeah.
So if you go to walk up on a table like the one that we're sitting at, it would show you an outline of that table in the virtual world that you are in, but as like a wireframe
Okay.
version of it. You're like,
That's
oh,
cool.
I probably shouldn't walk that far.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. I mean, I would definitely like to try it out. I don't think I would personally buy it because I don't have a game system. It's all Preston, It's all Preston.
They're not
stuff.
cheap.
Well, it's not that he hogs that. I'm just not a huge gamer.
Yeah.
Like, there are things that Preston has introduced me to that I've really, really enjoyed, but I don't play shooters and I don't play...
The Wolf Among Us, I think, was the
I-
one that you connected
yeah.
with the most.
I love
That was a
Telltale
good game.
games. Yeah, Telltale games are my favorite. I like story. It's not a lot of actions I have to do because I get very nervous if I have to shoot or do something in a fast
And you actually
manner.
passed the controller off to me on the Game of Thrones.
Well, the Game of
Telltale.
Thrones, the Game of Thrones one is super scary because the whole time you're trying to actually kill people, and I'm not good at it, and I get nervous and I get upset the whole time. I don't like it. I don't like killing people. Well, I mean, I do, but in the game. I don't know. I'm not a very good gamer. I don't have quick reflexes, and I get very stressed out in games.
I've actually been reading a lot about that lately. There's something
About my
about
stress in games.
No, about a lot of gamers who have never played a first-person shooter before.
I can't do it.
The idea of using 2 analog sticks,
It's really hard.
like, yeah, it was one to move, one to like look,
Well,
and
I'm trying to aim the whole time, and I'm moving them at the same
Yeah.
time because I feel like I have to move them at the same time, and you
And
don't have to. And I'm
it's-
just shooting in the air.
it seems as if the GoldenEye controller, and like I guess if you ever played 007 Nightfire, like that control scheme is easier for people to understand.
I mean, the extent of my gaming knowledge and consoles I had in my house growing up was the Wii, so I don't really have... we had the Nintendo that we borrowed from my cousin for a while.
I feel like using a controller, especially nowadays when there's not just 8 buttons on it, it's like riding a bike.
I guess.
You have to learn where everything is, and then after you learn where everything is, you got to learn what's normal for that type of game,
Yeah.
and then the variations that game has on that particular genre control scheme. Because
Yeah.
Halo doesn't exactly play like Call of Duty. Call of Duty doesn't exactly play like Battlefield.
They all look the same to me, though.
They all look the same. They all basically play the same, but they have very slight variations.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it back. I had a PlayStation growing up, but it was Barbie Detective was on it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like them classic
Yeah.
Barbie OG days.
That's some Barbie games. I did play Crash Bandicoot, and we did have Spyro, so I had some pretty good games. But that was
Classics.
it. Well, classics. I was saying that was it though. That's my whole gaming knowledge before, dating Preston, because I'm, don't have a PlayStation of my own. I don't have games. I don't have shooter games.
And I play too much games.
And he plays a lot of games. And so getting to watch it has been eye-opening. But I know what I do like and I don't like now. And shooting is not something that I like. I'm not good at it. There's skill to it. We played Battlefront, and I like the racing game. Still not good at it. I mean, I'm not good at racing, shooting, everything.
In the missions section, the speeder race.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that. I try to do the actual game where
into
you're
a tree.
where you're shooting.
Yeah,
I don't know what part
it's-
that's called. I'm really bad at it.
I mean, the regular multiplayer.
Yeah, no, just terrible.
Fighter Squadron's my favorite part, but I've already talked about that on
Okay.
here.
Sorry.
So now, I feel like it's time
Libby, get over here.
for us to move
Libby,
into another section.
come over there. Libby.
She's okay.
No, pick her up. Ugh.
Puppy.
Libby!
Libby.
Hi, Daddy.
You're interrupting, Libby.
It's okay. She gave me the mascot.
The mascot.
Yeah. Libby, do you want to talk about Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors?
You probably
Rumors?
have a lot of really good opinions
Yeah.
about it.
Libby loves Fleetwood Mac.
Who
Listens to it
doesn't?
all the time. Like that new movie coming out. What's that Disney movie? The Secret Life of Pets. Have y'all seen
No.
the trailers for that?
No, I haven't even heard of that.
It looks all. It's like set up kind of the same as Toy Story when the humans leave.
Oh, they talk and they do stuff.
Yeah. I don't understand yet if the humans could hear them talk if they were near, kind of like with the toys. I
Yeah.
think they're just talking in their own language, but
Yeah.
I can just picture Libby listening to music when we leave. Because otherwise, that's just a depressing life. Just
Yeah.
sitting there waiting until we get back.
But it's sad.
Yeah.
That's why dogs usually have like companions,
Mhm.
or you play music or something during
We
the
had
day.
we had a cat and they liked each other, but
Oh really?
the cat did not get used to the small
Mm.
apartment, so we had to give him
Oh,
away.
that sucks.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Just
then.
couldn't deal with not having enough room to get away from the dog.
Be
Kept me up
evil.
at night, just running back and forth.
It's going stir crazy in here.
Libby, that's gross.
It's okay.
It's just
We're
a hand.
live, okay?
It's just a hand.
Be a lady.
But so Kelly and I brought some records from each of our record collections.
We have a pretty big one.
Well, actually, Kelly only brought one today.
Yeah, but I have.
She may be
several.
back. Yeah. So you want to talk about the record you brought?
Yes.
I'll take Libby.
Yeah, take Libby. Oh,
Come on.
okay. I'm a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, and if you don't know who Fleetwood Mac is, then you've probably been living under a rock for the last 30 years.
Looking out for love.
Yeah. Well, Fleetwood Mac's one of the most influential bands from the 70s, a little bit in the 60s, but mainly from the 70s. And their music is probably something you've heard of. If you've ever heard of Landslide.
Yes.
Famous songs. So many covers. Dixie Chicks. Who else is? Everybody's covered Landslide pretty much.
I didn't even know the Dixie Chicks.
They
covered
did.
the
It was a
Fleetwood
very.
Mac
It was
song.
one of their really big hits at the time. Actually, was that cover.
My wife and I actually got in an argument over it.
She thought they were the original
we were talking
ones.
about Landslide, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Dixie Chicks. Whatever happened to them?" I was like,
No.
"Dixie Chicks."
They
No.
covered that song.
And I'm not that big on music. I was like, I've heard of Dixie Chicks, but they
They
definitely
didn't write that.
no. And but anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Well, Fleetwood Mac's amazing. It's a band. It's made up of 4 people. Well, really 5 for the most part. Christy McVie was one of the originals, along with Fleetwood and Mac, obviously. But eventually, what's going to happen is Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks join the band, and that's where they really take off. Yeah, Lindsey Buckingham is a guitar god, in my opinion.
That guy is nuts.
Yes, he's nuts. But the Rumors album is arguably their best album, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would also agree with this, just in general. It has some of the most single hits on their album compared to any other record of that time period. And also Dreams, which most people have probably heard of as Dreams, is one of their most, influential and biggest hits of that time as well. But the great thing about Rumors, too, and it's kind of going along with this title, is this whole time period, you have everybody in there is kind of in relationships. They're cheating on one another. The band's about to break up. They're having a really difficult time with each other. Because at that time, Lindsey and Stevie were married. They get divorced after this record. Christy McVie and I think Fleetwood.
I bet a lot
somebody
of
else.
people looked a lot more into this record than they should have.
No, I mean, this whole, and they've talked about it too, is this album is about the turmoil within their band and within their lives. I mean, the whole dreams, rumors, go your own ways about them going their own, like trying to figure out what to do at this point. All of it is about what's going on in their band, and it's very popular, very important. Landslide's not on this album, but the Rumors album is amazing and beautiful, and everybody should listen to it, in my opinion. If you haven't listened to it, you need to.
I've listened to their music.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's say everybody listen. Like, you might not know
Everybody's
a
heard.
Fleetwood Mac song, but you've heard it. You just don't know it's them.
If you watch
They're so
TV or
important.
movies.
Anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Landslide, Dreams, Go Your Own Way, Songbird, Never Going Back Again. These are all extremely important. Gold Dust Woman. And then obviously Stevie Nicks is going to go on and do her own music for On Edge 17, all of that.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
17.
That's not how it goes.
Just like the
there,
way.
there we go. That is Edge 17.
She does say, on the edge of 17.
Yeah.
That's what I sang.
It did not sound like that.
Wow.
I'm very sorry.
Wow. Miss Stevie Nicks expert.
That's fine. You want me to hold it?
Sure.
Okay. I'll be back.
So I brought one of my records, The Postal Service. Give Up. This band only put out one album. It's really upsetting. It was a combination of Death Cab for Cutie lead singer / guitarist Ben Gibbard and an electronic artist whose name is on here, but I do not remember. So I wanted to bring this, and I thought it was really cool. I wanted to tell a little bit about why they're called the Postal Service. For those of you who didn't know, at the time they were recording this album, which would be the early 2000s, mail wasn't completely dead. So what
It's still
they
alive. It still happens every day except for Sunday.
Amazon
I know what you mean,
and Charter use the mail. Oh, and AT&T. They're always like, to our neighbor,
That is true.
to our friends. But they actually recorded their parts on a CD and cassette and sent it via the Postal Service.
So clever.
Pretty cool. One of the best albums I think I've ever heard.
It's a great album.
So that's great. Heights is on here, which is one of their more popular ones, and in this,
It's popular.
For this
It's also going
set.
to be covered by Iron and Wine.
well, that's what I was about to get at. In this for this set, the Iron and Wine cover of the song off of this record is on this record.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Yes.
cool.
That's the end of that
Iron
one.
and Wine's really good too.
For those of you who do not know, Bad Books is a band. Bad Books is a combination of Kevin Devine, who releases almost all of his stuff self-titled, with the exception of he started playing with a band, and it's called Kevin Devine and the Goddamn Band, and or maybe it was Good Man Band.
No,
That-
I think it's what
is
you
it?
just said. Yes.
Is it okay? That would make more sense.
Yeah,
And Manchester Orchestra, which is another one of my favorite bands.
great band.
This record entitled 2, I think the other one was entitled 1.
Makes sense.
We're losing focus. There we go.
Sorry.
I focused it with my powers. It's a lot better than the first record, but the first record is definitely worth listening to. This one just has a lot more. Stop losing focus. Stop it, camera.
Just put it down.
Moving on.
I've listened to that album as well, and I really enjoy it. They have interesting songs. They're not typical topics that you would sing about. My favorite one on there, they're talking about what king is it? Peter the Great.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, they're
That's
talking
a
about.
beautiful song.
Yeah, they're talking about a king and basically how he catches his wife cheating on him with a lover, and it's this whole song from the standpoint of Peter
Yeah.
and also her lover, who at the end obviously we find out his head gets decapitated. So it's from the point of him
It's
sitting in a
from-
glass container.
Like the second verse is from the perspective of a severed head in a container
Yeah.
sitting on a
It's
mantle.
very interesting.
Futurama style.
Well, yeah, just kind of rotting.
Yeah, just being
Okay,
there.
not preserved.
No,
No.
just
Next, I wanted to talk about another fantastic band, the Front Bottoms, and their record Rose. This is actually an EP, so there's only about 6 songs on this, but if you were trying to figure out whether or not the Front Bottoms would be a band that you are into, just listen to these 6 songs. They will
It's
let
not
you know.
for everybody.
This pretty much covers their entire spectrum of the kind of music that they play. because of course some of it's a little more punk, some of it's a little more acoustic, and they cover the entire spectrum on this record, and it's definitely worth checking out. I'm very happy that I got this on vinyl.
Yeah. Well, the main thing. Okay, so Chase, I know you don't listen to a lot of music, but what do you listen to?
I really
Genre, or what?
He listens to One Erection.
no,
One Erection.
I don't even turn my radio on in the car.
What do you do?
I've got
You
a
just sit
two. I've
there
got a
with your
two.
thoughts?
I've got a 2-minute commute. So what's the point? By the time I actually
Something.
find a song I want, I mean, what's the average song length? 2.5 minutes? 3 minutes?
Yeah.
The
So-
good ones are 4.5 to 5
Yeah.
minutes long.
So I'm just gonna have to sit there in my car.
You
That's
don't
what I
have
do.
to
For
finish
30
it.
seconds. No, just turn it off.
Yeah.
What happens
If
next?
you know the song, then it's not a big deal.
Take your break in your car, or plug headphones in while you're eating.
I listen to plenty of music, but not in the conventional way of like radio or whatever.
I don't
I
either,
get my
though.
music through TV and movies because that's like
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
my big thing. That's
Yeah.
why I know Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac because they're in
obviously on a
they're in
lot of-
tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And 17 or whatever that was in Grand Theft Auto, I think. I remember just
Probably.
Oh, probably, yeah.
tons of times you get in a car and that's playing.
So I guess
But-
GTA is a really good one for you. And Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because they have really
I-
great music.
I mean, I've listened to the old stuff, so I heard all those songs in
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah, you're like,
uh,
yes.
Best Mix or whatever. I actually bought that. That's
I think it's Awesome Mix
that
Volume 1.
and the last 2 albums I bought was that and I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's like Pentatonics or something.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. They do. It's an acapella group.
Yeah,
and
they're
they
really
do
good.
covers of popular
Those are the
songs. They
last
are
two.
really good.
Oh,
I don't
and
like them.
and
I
the
know you
score for the new Star Wars movie.
Oh,
Those are the
yeah.
last 3 I bought, and that's like a 5-year span. So
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just asking because something like the front bottoms. I don't know if you would like them. They're
never heard of them.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's just the fact that if you like people that conventionally sound good when they sing, you might not like the front bottoms. He doesn't have a classically good voice.
Yeah.
He has a very nasally.
It's a character voice.
It's a character
Like,
voice. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not meant
he
to
has
be
a
like
lot of
this is a
character.
perfect
Yeah.
sounding male voice when he sings. This is a character I'm portraying as an artist, and it's not supposed to sound perfect.
Yeah.
So it's not for everybody.
Which there are a few artists that do that. I think one of the cooler ones,
Say anything.
I believe it's will Say Anything for sure,
Yeah.
but I consider him actually a pretty decent
He
singer
does have a
whenever
he
wants
does
to.
have a good song voice, but
But Listener is actually one that I was
I don't
referring
think I know
to.
them.
That's he's almost all spoken word,
Okay.
like, but it's all just this incredible poetry and incredible writing. Someone else who does it very well, the band La Dispute. I can't remember the lead singer / lyricist. I believe his name is Brandon. But I'm gonna feel real stupid. I think it starts with a B. But
Bobby.
his songwriting is on a level that I can't even describe. Like,
Yeah.
each record, even if I don't like the song, I can go and read the lyrics and absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, yes, Barry. Barry's probably his name.
You're a wizard, Barry.
The main thing who I'm thinking about when I talk about people who don't have a conventionally good voice, though, is Joanna Newsom, and you probably don't know her, and you don't even listen to her, but she has a very weird voice, and I really enjoy it.
Is that Andy Samberg's wife?
Yes, Andy Samberg's wife.
yeah.
Yeah. She has a really weird voice, but she plays the harp, and she has these very interesting songs, and they all have very interesting meanings. I really enjoy it, but I'm also not annoyed by her voice.
Yeah, I
but
can't
I know some
fucking
people.
stand it.
Yeah, because I know some people are, but I enjoy it. So there's that difference.
I appreciate that it's creative, but
Yeah.
I don't enjoy listening to it.
Oh, okay. And the last album I got you for Christmas.
Look, I can say so and so is my favorite record all day and talk about how this band's my favorite artists, and one thing has reigned true since this record came out, and that is it is by far my favorite record. The Wonder Years, who I've now seen I think 3 times live.
Mm-hmm.
The last time thanks to you. The thing about this record, and it's called The Greatest Generation, and if I'm correct, this is a picture of the lead singer's grandfather,
That's really cool.
who he believes was consumed by alcoholism, I think. from what I've
I'd
gathered
assume
from
be
these songs. And the song title, "The Devil in My Bloodstream," and there's the devil right there on the front. The album's called "The Greatest Generation," and it starts. The entire album kind of feels like them talking about what it's like to be on the road, what it's like to miss the people at home, what it's like to deal with family things when you don't have family around you. One of the songs is called "Madeline," is just straight to his sister. He's just like, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. I hope everything's okay." There's a lot of songs about his childhood being brought up. I think one of my favorite lines is "All we had were hand-me-downs, and all we had was goodwill." And it's just talking about him being raised by his parents and his family and his brothers and sisters, how they didn't have much. The entire thing comes together at the end in a song called "I Just Want to Sell Out My Funeral." It's about 7 minutes long, but what they do is they take every single chorus from all the songs, or the bridge from all the songs, and they incorporate it into this one fluid like movement right at the end. And they tie in another or slightly changed verses or slightly changed lyrics right there at the end to really just like bring it home. And I highly suggest that you find the album on YouTube. They have the entire thing available to stream. Just listen to it from the first song to the last song, and I guarantee you will not be upset. Like, this is, especially if you like pop punk. That's the genre,
that's
and
the
it
main
is.
one.
I think they are probably the best pop punk band out there right now. I can't really vouch for their first couple of albums. I wasn't a huge fan, but everything they put out since Suburbia has just been absolutely incredible, including their B-sides from the time period that I didn't really listen to them in.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed the Wonder Years. I went with him to go see them. They were playing Much City soundtrack, and it was a very good show. There was a lot of moshing, if you will, at the show, so I kind of had to stand back. Preston eventually I let him go forward, and I went to go sit in the back of the room.
Oh, I went front center.
Yeah, it's so hard. I'm a very small person, and when we went to go see Brand New, well, we didn't go together, but when we saw Brand New last year or the year before, I was near the front for that show as well, and at one point I was literally floating in the air because I was smushed up between two people, and so I had to move back. I'm just not meant to be up near the front at a show. I need to go sit down, enjoy myself, just watch. I don't like to get hot and sweaty. I don't like standing.
That's why they have YouTube.
Yeah, but there's something about live music though.
I've only been
there.
to one concert ever.
I just
I know,
realized,
and I'm wearing my Fleetwood Mac shirt.
I didn't even realize that until just now.
Go your own way. Yeah, I wore it because I knew we were going to talk about it. But yeah, so I just have to sit back, and we're going to go to a lot of concerts this year. It's our summer of music, if you will. We're going to go to Shaky Knees in May. It's a 3-day festival, and there's going to be a lot of bands. I think Florence and the Machine's going to be there. Huey Lewis and the News is going to be there.
Okay, so we're going to Shaky Knees, and of course there are a lot of bands that I want to see. I think
And
Silver
a lot
Sun
of we don't know.
Pickups
Yeah,
are
Silver
going to
Sun
be there too.
Pickups will be there.
So I was
Front Bottom's
really
gonna be
excited
there.
to see the Silver Sun Pickups. Front Bottoms will be my, I think, third time seeing them. But I just about lost my shit when I found out Huey Lewis and the News was going to be there.
It's Huey Lewis in the News.
Like, Huey has a way of making you feel like you didn't believe in love.
And now you do.
But in that moment, you do.
It'll be good. So we're going to go see Shaky Knees, and then in June we're going to go see Panic at the Disco with Weezer, which will be amazing, because they both have new albums, which are incredible. And also, we're going to go see...
We don't know about Weezer. They only put out half their album, but it's Weezer. They'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's Weezer. And then in July, we're going to go see Brand New and Modest Mouse. So we're seeing a lot of really awesome bands, and it'll be great.
I'm very lucky that this will be my third time getting to see Brand New.
This is my third time, too. Yeah, be good. But other than the music, did you want to move on to something else, or
Yes,
did
exactly.
you like to talk about music?
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. Music is a thing that brings us all together.
It is. I enjoy music. I was in the chorus in elementary school.
Me too.
For those 4 years there, and I was in band
Did you
for
have to
7
do
years.
weird Christmas concerts and spring concerts?
Yeah, I actually went to the state chorus meet. Like, I was one of the
I
few
went to
selected.
district, man.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Of course, that was back in 5th grade before my voice.
Yeah, so you had that nice, perfect little tenor voice, and
Yeah.
it was cute.
Yeah, little kid choirs and stuff.
Yeah, those were fun. I remember one of my first stage performances as a 5th grader. I had a line at the very beginning of the concert, and I messed it up because I knocked over an easel during it. There's a book on an easel.
In typical Kelly fashion.
In typical Kelly fashion, I knocked something over. And so there's this easel, and it has this big book, and I'm supposed to go up there and look through it, and I go to deliver my line. I can't remember it now. It was like, hey,
Please
look.
be seated.
Yeah. Please be seated, everybody.
Oh God, thank you. Thank you.
No, it was something like, guys, check out this book in the library or something. And it went well the first show with the 4th graders. And then amongst my peers at that show, other 5th graders, I turned around, and when I did, my foot caught the easel and fell, and I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I was just like leaning forward, like, should I get it? And they're like, go, and I'm just leaning down, and I eventually go and just laugh the whole time through my line, and I was embarrassed. And if that doesn't sum me up as a person, I don't know what does. That's my life. Are you okay? You thinking about it?
I'm thinking about chorus.
Chorus was fun. It was a good time. It built character.
It was fun, but I was thinking about how I think I could just list off the names of the dudes in we were like the Expendables of choirs, because none of us were ever in chorus before. All of us were just kind of the dudes that just didn't do their homework, and we were all like, hey, no one's taking men's choir, let's just all take it so that we can have a class together.
Remember in high school?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The names are as follows. Stephen Jarvis, myself, Shram, the Longoria brothers,
Is Shram a name? Okay.
Brandon Talley, and no, I'm pretty sure that was it, at least for the first semester. And I remember one time we had this substitute teacher. Her name was Miss Best. And if you ever went to the Troup County school system, you knew Miss Best. She was not the best. Everyone...
Hated her, I'm assuming is what you're trying to say.
I don't want to say that we hated her. I think she may have passed away.
Oh.
However, she wasn't a fun substitute. But one day we were in chorus, and she just kind of like dozes off just a little bit. She's kind of... There she goes. And then Shram goes. He's on the far right side. And just to explain how this chorus room looks, you come in through this door right here, and above you is a staircase that goes down like this. Then, so let's say you have to exit the staircase, and you can walk around here, and this is where the main desk is, where the teacher sits. And then we have like 3 rows of seats, because the girl classes, they have to fill those. We're all just in the front row. We're all right here, and the desk is right here. We're right in front of her. And she just lowers her head and her eyes close. And Shram just kind of gets up, crawls behind his chair, and just starts doing Mission Impossible rolls behind all the seats until he gets to the other side. And then he just goes, "Let me know when I'm clear."
Oh, God.
And we're just like, I mean, I guess you're clear, dude. Then we think she's asleep. And he just like cartwheel to the staircase, goes up the staircase, and just is up there on the floor collecting dust in his hands.
Why?
I'll tell you. So then he goes to the edge and just goes, and then she goes, Miss Best kind of looking around. She's got dust just sitting on her head.
Aww.
She's looking around like, what's going on? And then she's like, is it snowing?
Oh my God.
She looks up, and then of course he's back against the wall, and we can see him perfectly because we're like right here, and I can look up to the second floor, but she has no idea. She's like, huh. So this goes on for the next 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
Until eventually Mr. Hurd, who one of my all-time favorite teachers, is coming over from the band room, which is right across the hall. Opens the door. Some dust falls on his head, and he had amazing hair at one point. And so he touches the top of his head, and he just kind of looks forward, and he looks up, and he hears, and he goes, "Shram, get down here." And he's like, "Oh man," and that was.
Yeah, as an educator, I feel very, very badly for the substitute having
No.
to deal with boys like you.
She should have known how to deal with us.
I guess I don't know. I just always feel bad because I was a substitute for a while too.
You have to reason
before
with
I was
us.
a teacher.
You have to reason with us.
I
You
just let
don't
him do
go,
whatever.
"Hey, you can't talk until you finish a crossword puzzle that your chorus teacher left you because he doesn't actually think you'll ever do any real work."
Yeah, when I substituted, I just kind of let things happen. As long as they were generally not being crazy, it was fine. I mean, teachers know that's what's going to happen. We know you're not going to do your work. But it's good, though, to have somebody kind of controlling the situation.
Chase, you saw a movie last night.
Let's talk about Deadpool first.
Oh,
Okay.
I noticed you had a toy down there.
Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool!
That was
I'm
very
assuming
good.
y'all have seen it.
Yes, we saw it on the day before Valentine's Day.
Deadpool!
13th.
Deadpool.
He's a
Deadpool.
bobblehead.
You gonna take a minute and talk about that, or are we gonna come
No,
back
this
to
is
it?
at the end.
Okay. Well, Deadpool. I thought it was a great movie.
It is.
But one thing I just want to mention before we get into it is, it's rated R, and all the kids that were there.
I know.
They didn't get there by themselves. Their parents were there. But there were several, nudity scenes and, really violent scenes.
Well, also, the nudity scenes, it was full on, sex.
Yeah. And the parents were just sitting there covering their eyes. I'm like,
I know. I saw a kid walk in, and it was probably a 12 to 14-year-old boy with his dad. That's going to be the worst car ride
They were
home.
about 2 rows ahead of
That's
us.
the worst car ride home you can imagine. Because at that point, he's like, "Son, do not tell your mother I let you see this." You know what I mean? It's not something that you want to talk about with your kid because when he gets home, he's going to be thinking about that.
Right.
And that's not something you want to know about. In my opinion. It's a great movie, though.
It
Ryan
is.
Reynolds is amazing.
He's-
He's a perfect Deadpool.
yeah, I don't think they could have casted anyone else.
I mean, he
that
is
would-
Deadpool.
Yeah, he is.
He fought for that movie.
Yeah.
For 12 years or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, forever. Well, since he did it for X-Men.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
They said he was basically blackmailed almost to do that movie because he didn't want to go stray so far from the comics, but they were like, if you do this, we'll hook you up later with your own movie.
And they're
You
like,
know,
"Oh no,
'cause-
Deadpool can't be its own
Because in the movie, what all did they do? They gave him laser
They
vision.
ruined
and
it.
I did not like that movie at all.
It's not a good
But
movie.
anyway, back to Deadpool. It's broken records. It's the most money ever made with a rated R movie.
Yeah, and it's the biggest release for a Marvel movie.
For Marvel, yeah.
Opening weekend.
Fox still owns them, so they haven't sold the character
Yeah.
to Disney
Which
yet.
is great.
And that's why they can only reference X-Men.
Yeah.
Which
It
I
can't
think
go
my
out.
favorite line in that entire movie is, come back and you will talk to Professor X. And he's like, which one? McAvoy Stewart. I can't keep track.
It's just so
They
good.
kept referencing,
Actual
they-
actors.
Yeah,
not
they
their
had
characters.
a low budget,
Yeah.
and they were like, we could only afford
Go
2
on.
X-Men,
It's
and one of
almost-
them's animated.
It's almost like we couldn't afford any other X-Men
Yeah.
cameos.
But I didn't realize that was actually one of his mutant abilities until afterwards, being a fourth wall breaker.
Mhm.
That's actually something he
Part
can
of it.
do.
Yeah.
Break through the fourth wall, talk to another dimension, I
Mhm.
guess, because we're in another dimension.
So yeah, if you look in the comic books, the whole time he's always
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
to the
he's-
reader.
I was just thinking, that's just a way, a different thing to do.
It's so
to draw
cool.
it, but that's actually one of his mutant abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk for a second that it's actually beaten Star Wars of all things in something.
Right.
But don't hold your breath because it was in Russia.
Just
Oh, I was
Just
about to
in
say, I
Russia.
didn't hear that.
no, it couldn't be Star
Deadpool
Wars.
has made more money in Russia than Star Wars Episode 7 by a million point three.
That's
or something.
awesome.
What?
They
Yeah.
like Deadpool because
We
I
live in
think
a
they have a
world-
Russian character there too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they probably like that.
We live in a world where a rated R superhero film charts higher than a Star Wars movie somewhere in the
Somewhere.
world.
Not
Star
here.
Wars, don't get me wrong, great movie, but I was more anticipating Deadpool than Star Wars because Star Wars has been done before, and I felt like this new Star Wars they were just regurgitating stuff that worked. Still a great movie, don't get me wrong, but
That's the whole point,
Deadpool
though.
I think
it's brand new, for
For
the
us.
big screen.
all we wanted out of Star Wars was them to not break Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And
not
they
ruin it.
Didn't break Star Wars, and we were like, oh, okay, cool.
This is great.
I mean, Disney has trillions of dollars, so if they screw up, they'll just keep throwing
I'll
stuff
just
out
fix
there.
it. Like, oh,
But they
let's
didn't
make
screw
another
up.
one.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying they did. It was a great movie.
It was good.
And so I think it's very cool that now studios know that they can put out a rated R movie.
They were saying that
That's
they
so
want the
important.
next Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's last role playing Wolverine, to be rated R. Just kick it up a little bit more.
Because they botched all the other ones.
Yeah. The last one, the last one, I kind of enjoyed. Have y'all seen it? It's not Origins, or is it?
No, it's on our list.
They just the Wolverine is what it's called.
The
Yeah, but
Wolverine.
we haven't watched it
I
yet.
get the titles all mixed up.
They're all terrible.
Not the one where Ryan Reynolds did his debut. As
No,
Deadpool. That was
it's
not good.
That's
I think a
Wolverine
lot of stuff
Origins.
happens in Japan.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Have y'all not seen it?
No,
No,
but it's on
I
our
won't-
list
I
to
won't
watch.
say anything.
I'll say one thing about X-Men Origins Wolverine. The first 45 minutes of that movie, absolutely
Very
incredible.
good,
And
yes.
amazing backstory for Wolverine.
They just ruined it.
They
in the end.
introduced Gambit.
Yeah.
he's
But
a
they kind of
great
messed up
character.
Gambit.
They
though.
messed him up, but come on.
It's still cool to have him, but they could have done so much more with Gambit.
It was what really got me were all the war scenes with
That was
Wolverine
really
and his
cool.
brother, Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Like that was just
It was just cool to see them through time. Because
yeah.
you know
Like
they've
they
been around
fought in
forever.
every main,
Yeah.
But it's really
every
cool,
large
Because
world
they can't
war.
die, so like why not? And they're also looking kind of also to see how far they can push their physical abilities. It was good, but yeah, the end is just messed up. Deadpool, Stryker, all of it was terrible at the end. Hated it.
But the new movie, I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
And I loved how they one thing that they kind of a secret kind of Easter eggy thing, that carrier thing that they're fighting on at the end is supposed to be a Shield helicarrier,
Yeah.
which they can't technically do, which is why you don't see any Shield logos
Yeah.
on it.
I'm assuming it's the one that crashed in Winter Soldier,
Hmm.
or
Yeah,
maybe not
probably.
Winter Soldier.
Well, there were 3 that
Yeah,
crashed in Winter
There's
Soldier.
been several in the Marvel universe that have crashed so far.
Just
Why-
the
why
world
do
is
they keep-
littered with
Yeah.
bad.
Why do they keep putting helicarriers up if they're going to get shot down?
I don't know. That's the thing that I also don't like about sometimes with superhero movies. There's so much damage that is done to just cities and infrastructure and people. And I think about the actual people. It's weird. I'm just like, there's tons of people that just lost family members and their entire business just got ruined, and the city's going to be like this for 5 years probably. That's something that, super to think about when watching a movie because it's not real.
Yeah.
But just the reality of what would happen if that happened in our country, like to that extent, that's crazy.
And I thought Daredevil was going to address that, but it was
They
just kind of
kinda
an
do.
in passing kind
Yeah.
of.
Oh yeah, it's messed
Oh,
up
yeah,
because
that's
they
why-
fell out of the
yeah.
sky.
Changing to the DC universe that you brought that up, Man of Steel. Like,
Yeah,
Oh, one
how
more
many
thing before we
millions of
switch over.
people probably died? and
right.
that's
Yeah.
why
I think that's what's gonna go into Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman or
It
Superman.
was just a
whatever it is.
setup for that movie.
is, yeah.
But I didn't realize that at first. I love Superman, and then when I went to see it, I was like, that's not Superman. He would not allow
All of
all
this
that collateral
death
damage.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Do you know about the Gambit movie?
No.
I've heard mentions of it.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum's
What?
It's
Gambit.
Gambit. It's already been cast. Channing Tatum is Gambit. Marvel,
interesting.
after the success of Deadpool, just announced a new comics miniseries line called Gambit and Deadpool.
Oh my god, that'll be so good.
So imagine a Channing Tatum Ryan Reynolds movie
I would love it.
where Channing Tatum has a terrible like Louisiana accent.
He can do it.
Well, maybe.
That'll be good.
We don't have much longer, so what else do we want to talk about? We need to
Witch
skip.
Hunter and then this stuff.
Okay, I'll do it real quick. Last night I watched The Witch Hunter, which I've fallen victim. Yeah, I've fallen victim to ratings
Vin
before.
Diesel?
Yeah, it's Vin
Oh my
Diesel.
god.
Actually, in this movie, we had Vin Diesel, we had Michael Caine. Y'all know who that is?
I love Michael Caine.
Yeah,
Michael
great.
Caine.
And crap, I forget his name. Elijah Wood. He was in it too.
Oh,
And the
little baby.
she's
Elijah
not
Wood.
that big an actress yet, but she's definitely an up and comer. Ygritte from Game of Thrones. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
I like what you do with
yeah.
your tongue, Jon
Yeah,
Snow.
she was in this
We
movie.
should never left that cave.
But yeah, anyway, this movie. Let me see. it got horrible reviews.
I'm
Rotten
sure it did.
Tomatoes gave it a 16%.
Oh.
Ooh.
But anyway,
That is not fresh.
there's been several movies I've seen that had, really low reviews
Mhm.
that I'm not going to go see in theaters. But when they come out
Yeah,
on Redbox,
no.
I gladly pay $2 to watch it, and I actually really like
I
this
agree.
movie. It's very cheesy,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
that brings up my next topic on the cheese: The Man in the High Castle.
Oh my
So
God, that is a good
good.
show.
It's
we
so
we
good.
just started it. We're on like episode 7 now.
Oh, you have.
It's,
Yes.
There is
So
definitely
good.
some cheese.
Yeah.
They got a low budget, but it is a good show.
it's very good.
If you don't know much about it, it's an alternate reality kind of thing.
Mhm.
Set in the 60s, the Nazis, they won the World War, and they've invaded the states, and they split the states up between the Nazi Reich and the Japanese. It's a really good show. I suggest checking
It's
it out
very
if you
good.
got some time. Only like 10 episodes.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sure it's been
hour
renewed
episodes, but
for
they're
a second
very.
season.
It
Yeah.
is. It's very good.
I want to
though.
mention about their first commercial, which I feel like everyone should watch.
Mhm.
It's really cool because it's just like this average guy, and he's coming home from work. He's like, "Oh, hey, honey, how are the kids?" And there's like, "Oh, hey, daddy," and they run up. It's like, "I got a new badge."
And
for
it's a
you."
swastika.
And then it's a swastika.
And you
You're
realize
like,
in the
are you?
United States what is happening. It's very good. It's a
because
very
it's
good
very
show.
60s America,
Yeah,
but
but
Nazis.
as if America didn't experience it.
Yeah.
It was through this German lens. It is
I like
good.
genres like that, like Wolfenstein. I really like that video game series. It's set up
Yeah.
the same way
That's cool.
as if the Nazis actually won. It's steampunk.
Did you play the old Blood and New Order?
Yeah, I've played the New Order and whatever.
Were those
Yeah,
really good?
I liked them. Yeah, it was only like $15, but
Yeah, as I'm saying, they
I
were
think
on
it was
sale.
just a PlayStation exclusive that that one was.
New Order?
Yeah, I think.
Cool.
Or the Old Blood. I don't remember
Blood.
which one's which. One's
No,
an actual
there's
AAA
no.
game.
It's
and
not
the other
even.
one- Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, I'm gonna
Alright,
play with some
okay.
toys. I wanted to show off my collection. I want to start with Finn.
These are pop figures.
They're really cool. I
Where
got
do you
turned
get 'em
on to
from?
them
You
by.
can get them a lot of places. A lot of retailers sell them. GameStop, you can buy them
GameStop, yeah.
online. Walmart, Target, tons of places have them. They're very popular right now. They're very cute.
There's Finn. Finn's
oh,
really
it doesn't show on the camera.
That wasn't
Oh.
worth putting on the table. And this is Han Solo from The Force Awakens.
You got that in Loot Crate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Loot Crate one.
And then you've already seen Deadpool. Deadpool's cool. He's got a
My
katana.
son hates me.
He's got a katana and an SMG. And the katana you can bend just like it bends in Ajax in the Deadpool movie. So that's cool.
You know, he can't feel pain, but he should have died in a lot of those scenes because he can't
Right?
heal like Deadpool.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely should have died. Their internal organs were
Yeah.
probably hit.
Anyway.
I agree.
And then we got Agent Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's awesome. I like his sunglasses. I like that they actually painted his eyes underneath. So that he's got
Just
that like
in
that
case.
steely.
Agent Coulson.
You got Ron Weasley.
Run,
I
run.
hear we're owned by the
Run,
same people
Weasley.
now. Yeah.
He's got his bandage on his broken wand. You can't see it, but I can, so that's what's important.
Detail. Detail is what matters.
Next up, we got Groot.
Oh, he's so cute.
And he's actually got a glow in the dark hand, which I thought was really really cool. Just like the end of the movie
Just
where he's
moving.
where it's like glowing, those
Yeah.
like the yellow light. That's what that
And he's
does.
like, "We are Groot." or
We
whatever.
are Groot.
Vin Diesel.
I'm Vin Diesel.
He's
This one-
actually the highest paid actor just for those lines
I bet. I mean,
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's. Vin
So-
Diesel, man.
for the second movie.
Mm.
According to the Internet Movie Database, which we all know the internet is not always
I was
right.
like Chris
No,
Pratt.
it's always true.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt is amazing and wonderful.
He's
and I
on the
love him.
rise.
So I'm wondering, he might have more lines than I Am Groot. This
I
next
don't think.
movie.
I don't
Well,
think
he's
he
Baby
can.
Groot.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They released a new poster, just
Show
one
me.
image, and he's like standing on
No.
I know. Yeah.
whose shoulder was it?
Is it
He's
the,
this small.
The,
though.
the raccoon? Mm.
No, the bigger guy.
The bigger
Oh.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
The guy being played by the
He's-
MMA.
Yeah, but he's an MMA guy.
Yeah.
And then lastly, or is that the last?
Oh no, this
Oh.
is not the
Oh,
last
okay.
one. We have Dr. Brown from Back to the Future with his iconic goggles and electricity, which you can't really see. He's awesome. He's really awesome. He even comes with the car battery on the back. All right, we only got two more left, Agent Mulder from the X-Files.
Yes, Fox.
If you know anything about X-Files, you know how awesome Mulder is.
Might as well just put up this gun because he's never any good with it.
Right.
And then I got like really shitty Superman.
Hates it.
I'm not happy with it. I'm not a big fan of DC Comics.
Mm-mm.
Actually, I don't want to say that because TV shows are absolutely incredible.
That's true. But anyway. Anything else?
No, this is everything I've ever wanted.
Okay.
Great.
Well,
No more podcasts. We're through
This
after
is it. This is it.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Hope you have a great weekend. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're also on Stitcher, which is a app for those of you who have Androids or Windows phones or anything like that. We're also, of course, I think I said already, on iTunes. Please subscribe to us. It helps us know if you actually like it or not.
Yes.
And do email us at everydaycentaur@gmail.com with any questions, or message us on Facebook if there's a topic you think we should read on the show.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy being on here, so it's great.
And with that,
Bye.
Bye.
poops. Get
Bye. Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Can you give me 5 seconds of silence?
Do you believe in love after love?
I gotta stand up.
Okay.
I can feel some